Hello, everybody. Live on X, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and of course, what was it? Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, X, Twitter. Obviously, how could I forget Twitter? So, crypto sucks right now. We're all feeling the pain. It's pretty rough. Why am I still here? We're gonna go over the news. We'll take some questions. If you guys have any questions at all, hop on into the multi-stream chat. I can see you from, I think, everywhere except for TikTok. TikTok, I'll occasionally check in on the chat over there too, because we do have some viewership on TikTok, guys. But crypto sucks. So what's the deal? Why does it suck so bad? It's taken 4.5 years since the last all-time highs, at least for altcoins, right? Bitcoin, Bitcoin did a 6x ROI. Most people understand that we're in crypto for more than a 6x, and what basically happened was crypto devolved into meme coin mania because with the lack of new people coming in, it became one big pump and dump casino, basically a game of musical chairs with a zero-sum game is what it's called. And there's no new participants entering. When you have wealth generation, it's called a positive sum game. This means the pie is getting bigger, new people are coming in, but this so-called golden age that Trump promised us, well, I'd really like to be tired of winning right about now, but we're not. It's been a big disappointment. Pretty black-pilled on the whole political spectrum, but the good things that we can say, the silver lining is that the Clarity Act is about to go in. The Genius Act has already been signed in, but will start taking effect pretty soon. And I know this is also kind of blackpilling, but the saving grace that we have is institutional money is going to pump crypto to normies. And we in the PulseChain community are one of the last cypherpunk communities with a billionaire founder that's got a big bag of ETH that has known to be pumping his own chain before and has deliberately made the low liquidity environment that we see today for, in my opinion, max pumpability. That's what it's all about. Just maximum pumpage is what this guy Richard Hart cares about. I guess another good news segment would be the European EU most wanted list. Richard Hart's name has been removed completely. He's still got some lingering Interpol charges, which are inconsistent. There's never been any evidence brought to them about tax fraud. The seizure numbers are inconsistent with the claimed amount on the Interpol website. And they've basically, for 4 times in a row, 4 consecutive times for 4 months each, they've extended the case for the maximum duration without, again, providing any evidence. And when Finnish journalists were questioned, hey, can you provide the source material for these claims, which we know the assault charge was bogus because it just got deleted off the Interpol website, altogether deleted. This comes after the SEC dismissal, where Richard Hart and PulseChain and PulseX and HEX defeated the SEC due to lack of jurisdiction and failure to state a claim, 2 very important reasons. I mean, the SEC is the final boss, and the Interpol is kind of like the low-budget version of anything in the USA. And this Finnish journalist, when asked for source material, just directed us back to FBI DOJ, or 3-letter agencies in the USA, who have since very publicly stated that they have no further interest in pursuing Mr. Hart or PulseChain or anything because it's a legitimate project with nothing going wrong. Except that the fat man in the Gucci suit made a little too much noise with his outrage marketing. That's really, it drew in a certain negative attention and some reputational damage that we're still recovering from. But look, we can search outside of our altcoin ecosystem and find that if it's not PulseChain, it's something else and it's down. If it's an altcoin with any kind of community or product, it's down 80-90%. Except for the occasional one-off meme coin pump and dump, which you and I probably weren't invited to the cabal. And those are the guys getting rich. So we traded alt season for crime season is what we did. Alt season for LA Vape Cabal crime season, and after they've extracted. The other aspect of crime season was venture capital in hindsight. Looking back on all the L2 grifts, these companies would raise millions and millions of dollars, venture capital funds, from their buddies, which the public also wasn't invited to, and essentially extracted and rinsed retail as the exit liquidity, and ran the same playbook over and over again. More recently, it was with Monad raising $500 million, Mega ETH raised $500 million. Optimism, like all these layer 2s over time. I could probably name like a list of hundreds of these VC chains. So the public caught on to that, and the public decided to just take a different scammy route, scam each other with meme coins. So I don't want to be a doomer because that's not going to get anybody anywhere, right? We could sit around and complain. But I'm just talking about the state of crypto and where we're at. This is the sad state of affairs, right? You could have the best technology ever. Let's take Jupiter, right? So everybody begs people to do buybacks, and I think it's so funny. It's like they don't listen to what I've said, what many people have said. And you have this in every community, by the way. Bitcoiners beg Michael Saylor to pump their bags. Ethereum guys totally berate the Ethereum Foundation all the time, who, by the way, just dumped Ethereum after this whole Kelp DAO $300 million hack. ETH Foundation, you can't make this up. They just were caught selling Ethereum to Tom Lee. Tom Lee, the #1 buyer of ETH, who's down on his trade more in absolute value terms than any other trade in history. Probably not inflation adjusted. People give Richard Hart a hard time for buying $3,700 ETH, but he's only got a fraction of what Tom Lee has. And Tom Lee owns about 3% of the circulating supply, I think. Maybe 4%, 3.5%. He owns billions of dollars worth, over $3 billion worth of ETH, and he's down pretty bad. And so all his institutional buying is not moving the price up. Why? Well, a lot of these institutional buys, they happen off the order books. They happen over the counter OTC. Private, peer-to-peer, large value transactions, they don't hit the markets. Retail, normies, who get tricked into buying the price up on these low liquidity centralized exchanges, that's what causes blow off tops and future bull cycles. But the good thing is we're here before all that. We actually are early. It sucks. Sucks to say that. I'm tired of saying that myself. I wake up, it's really hard to get excited about crypto. Like, it sucks. My bags are just dragging. They're just rubbing their butt on the ground. Rubbing their butt on the carpet. Let's see. Luna, hey gang, what's up? Lassie Cash is in the house. Tam Tam, good to see you, Tam Tam. The lovely Tam Tam. DGen Dougie, win no more pain, sir. Dude, I don't know, but I'm going to be here for it. I'm going to be here for it because I just understand the basic market dynamics. People like to buy high. Crypto's a Veblen good. It's the opposite of what normal supply and demand behaves as. Normally, when the prices drop, the demand for something goes up. Oh, 2-for-1 deal on t-shirts. I'll take 4, you know? With crypto, hey, 90% discount on PulseChain. Psh, I'm not touching that. I don't want that. That's how people behave. They want it after, it's a bit of confirmation bias. After the crowd agrees that it should be 10 times more expensive, they're happy to buy because it feels good. Because other people already bought it, they don't feel stupid. Ultimately, it might be a social signaling thing. Going against the herd is one of the toughest things to do. I mean, that's why public speaking, guys, you wouldn't believe this. People are more afraid of public speaking than they are of dying a lot of the times. That's because being cast out by the tribe way back when in the caveman days, which our brains are still wired for, this was a death sentence to be ostracized, to be banished. That's why, who was it, Socrates or whoever got ran out of the Roman Empire? They would just banish you. That was like the ultimate punishment. Banish you from the kingdom. So people are scared to be wrong. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there feeling, you know, silly, feeling dumb for buying high. A lot of people are angry, understandably so. Not that the anger really does anything to make the price go up. I mean, you might get a couple other people to lament with you, but the only thing that makes the price go up is new people getting in, new people buying and marketing. And what's unusual about PulseChain is that's what I see a large percentage of the community still doing. We're still giving out tablets, developing wallets, bridges. The technical side, people are developing real products. Liberty Swap, their Peacock token, has held up quite nice because of all the volume they're facilitating between multi-chain bridging from Solana, from BNB into PulseChain. They're building all the roads. Internet Money Wallet by KG, who's also going on a documentary pretty soon. Shout out to KG. Just did a huge user experience update for the internetmoney.io wallet. PulseChain friendly. One of our best onboarding tools with the time token that also buys and gives you dividends from all the swaps going through the wallet. It's kind of a financial incentive for people to shill the wallet, but it's hard. It's a tough sell. Crypto's a very tough sell right now. Very tough sell. People don't want to touch it, man. People want to move to AI stocks because they already went up. And they still are. The occasional stock, SanDisk, went up like 30x. You've got AMD and Intel because the CPU demand is now increasing due to agentic AI, right? So NVIDIA skyrocketed because GPUs were the big thing to power large language models. Well, now, what's the next opportunity? Maybe stuff like AMD and Intel, because CPUs are becoming just as important as the GPU. It's about a 50-50 split. The CPU has to handle a lot of stuff when you have a virtual computer running agentic AI for you. That's what agentic means. It's kind of like some virtual agent doing stuff for you. Opening browsers, making accounts, buying stuff on Amazon. I don't know, whatever you give it permission to do. The Hollins has exposed the fake Ethereum buys and fake crypto enthusiasts. Thank you, Coffee. I owe you a cup. Thanks. Hey, anybody that's a supporter of me, I'd love to have a coffee with you one day. Appreciate it, man. The fake Ethereum buys. That's the thing. Like I was saying, institutional money ETFs, they do pump Bitcoin, but a lot of times they're pretty neutral, because after they've loaded their bags with all the Bitcoin backing the ETFs, they sell to other institutions off the order books, and they do outflows just as much as inflows. But look, stablecoins are at a new all-time high. Stablecoins are on Ethereum, by the way. I had a news article pulled up about this. It's pretty interesting. Stablecoins are at a new all-time high. Typically when this happens, it does kick off alt season. We saw this happen in 2019 after Bitcoin got wrecked from 20,000 down to 3K. Stablecoins went to new all-time highs. More recently, in the 2022 crash, we had stablecoins took a dip in the total supply, right? The total market cap of stablecoins, all the way until looks like 2024, March 19th. And this kind of coincided with the meme coin mania. But we didn't get that much of a blow off top, because quickly after, you see, stablecoins kept increasing, but Bitcoin crashed from 120 down to 60. A lot of people are saying it's going lower. Recently, though, the interesting thing about this is that stablecoins had it's a smaller dip compared to the latest stablecoin market cap dips. It's a very small dip, actually, but in December 11th, 2025, basically right at the end of the year, last year, stablecoin market cap did go down. But you just saw $1 billion get printed of Tether. Very interesting. 1.5 billion. Now, yes, the money's getting frozen. We'll talk about that later. Tron just froze, Tether, the company, just froze a bunch of USDT associated with Iran for the war. This just shows you that you got to use real decentralized cryptos if you want the purpose they were made for, which was to get around censorship, get around corrupt governments. Most stablecoins don't have that same safety. They have some guy that can freeze them that works at a company called Tether or Circle or any of these companies that issue stablecoins. They're basically CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, but the surveillance data is already here. The crypto is the opt-out plan, you understand. So back to the stablecoin market cap. December 14th, 2025 took a dip to about February. We bottomed on February. And you've seen the stablecoin supply going up again. But this dip barely looked like a dip, because we're talking it went from a market cap of 268 billion to 263 billion. So it doesn't look like a dip, but if you follow that as a metric for, market excitement, people want stablecoins when they want to get their dollars on chain and go buy stuff. So that they're printing more is a good thing. Very good thing that they're printing more. Hey, Holland ONG. Chicken and gravy dinner on me. Hell yeah, brother. Thanks for the $10 super chat, my friend. Chicken and gravy. You're a man of good taste. Polypulse bets. Yeah, polypulsebets.com. So I guess we've got a prediction market on PulseChain now. Speaking of builders, right? Polypulsebets.com. Eddie Paulsican says, this might sound weird, but I'm wrecked. Still confident in good times ahead, though. I'm in the exact same boat. I'm pretty wrecked myself, Eddie Paulsican. I think we all are. I think everyone in crypto is, but PulseChain people, some of them, not all of them, some of us still have hope and something to believe in, some optimism. That's what PulseChain offers. That right now it's hard to offer anything else than hope and confidence. And like no one's certain, or no one's guaranteeing anything. But if you were going to join a crypto community, PulseChain seems like it's got a real spirit, an actual grassroots community. People are here. It's organic. Real people. Not bots, not dead internet theory. You know, some guy with a bunch of SIM cards all hooked up to a single screen. They do this in China and other countries. They do this in America too. Bunch of fake bot accounts. A lot of people bought and paid for. And Sem paid. He was getting paid like $500K a month to promote tile trading, the most degenerate form of, as if leverage trading wasn't enough, as if losing money with 100x leverage wasn't enough for these people. They do this game called tile trading where it's like max dopamine ADHD kid version of trading. You see the price chart going up and down and like on the 1 second chart. I'm not even kidding, like 1 second at a time. And you bet on the tile of the price you think it's going to hit. And it's just a way for you to lose money faster. It's like whoever got rich doing that? I don't know a single person. That's like, at least I know like the top 1% of traders win, even though 99% lose. I mean, tile trading is just, it's brain rot in the form of trading. Tekken Zero Kid says, worked 50 days straight stacking HEX. Hell yeah. Hard work, consistency. That's the one thing they can't take away from you. Who else do we got here? We're all wrecked, babe. That's right, Luna. Harry Williams says, what's up, buddy? This is the time to buy the most undervalued coins I've seen. How bear markets create millionaires. Just invest correctly. PulseChain, baby. PTGC2. Look, the PTGC guys are not giving up either, so I gotta hand it to them. If there might be a revival in certain altcoins within PulseChain, maybe that's one to keep an eye on. What's up, Coffee? What's up, Harry Williams? I'm losing my mind with these buy opportunities. I can't buy enough, dude. Some days I feel like that, but most days, if I'm being honest with myself, it doesn't feel good. But if you train your brain to buy low, sell high, this is when technically, when everyone's feeling terrible, as long as you believe PulseChain is going to be around. France sees a surge in crypto kidnappings. This is terrible, guys. If you are a crypto dude or a girl, get the hell out of France, apparently. Pavel, the founder of Telegram, accused French tax agent Galia C. Looks like he called out them by name, maybe taking Richard Hart's advice. Hey, good job, Pavel. Calling out French tax agent Galia C. and database leaks fueling 41 kidnappings in 3.5 months. This is outrageous. That's like one kidnapping every 2.5 days in France. Terrible place to live if you're crypto. Oh, by the way, the company Ledger also lives there. They've lost everyone's data 4 or 5 times now. They had malware injected into their Wallet Connect software. Terrible, because they forgot to update an NPM package or something. Shame on Ledger. Shame on French authorities. I would not want to be there right now. That's just, it's a terrible thing. French attacks are real, and apparently French authorities confirmed the sharp rise. And Pavel is calling out by name the tax agent that is selling people's data. Criminals selling data to other criminals. Durov warned against government data demands and said Telegram would leave France to protect users as criminals use leaked info for violent wallet grabs. Terrible, guys. Back to some hopium. Tokenized real-world assets reached $25 billion milestone. The entire world's coming on chain. And 25 billion is nothing on the way to 100 trillion. People need to realize there's over 100 trillion of dollars market cap in the stock market alone. I think another 100 trillion in 401ks, and God knows how many hundreds of trillions in real estate. So crypto itself as a total asset class is less than $3 trillion market cap. Less than 3 trillion. So billions matter right now. And they're testing out the tokenized stocks. Right? So all this demand for stocks, really, when they come on chain, in theory, should create demand for Ethereum 2, the gas token that powers every other EVM chain. Well, most others. Some of the layer 2s. And then PulseChain could capture some of that spillover, potentially from a rich guy that's got a lot of ETH as well. That's why Tom Lee's betting on it. So it's real-world assets, stablecoins, AI crypto convergence, These are three of the most bullish things in the pipeline for crypto other than institutional adoption. And where is everybody launching the stablecoins, real world assets? And where is the AI agentic demand going to come for? It's going to be ETH. Unless you you really think it's going to be one of these new side chains that dies off after the VCs extract. I saw Monad just had their lending protocol hacked today. Even with a multi-sig, even with a 2 of 3 multi-sig, they still got hacked. So nobody's safe. Drift protocol apparently is relaunching again. Can't make this up. They lost 300 million on Solana by having a single admin key. Woman-owned company. Yay. Just kidding. It has nothing to do with that. It's just people lie. You know, there's either insider jobs, right? Or social engineering, where literally Lazarus Group from North Korea built up a 6-month relationship with the Drift Protocol team. And they gained the trust of Drift Protocol. They ended up getting hacked through, what was it, a test flight app? So they were given, so one of Drift Protocol's partner companies was North Korea the whole time. Look, when there's $300 million on the line, yeah, you can spend all the time in the world. It's hard to trust people these days, unfortunately. But especially online, especially in crypto. The 25 billion tokenized real world assets per DeFi Llama, with funds and bonds leading to over 15 billion. This is BlackRock. This is like BlackRock's $2.8 billion BUIDL fund and Circle's $2.9 billion USYC. But this is even bigger. So total, it's $25 billion now. Ethereum hosts the bulk of that 25 billion with 16.2. I'm talking about real world assets, right? So people are parking their capital on chain. This should cause demand for Ethereum. And yeah, while everybody bands together to protect the Aave contagion from the RSETH hack resulting from the Layer 0 hack, Kelp DAO and Layer 0 just having a very, what was it, a one-of-one decentralized validator network that allowed someone to spoof an RPC node or something. It caused a lot of contagion on Aave because there was a lot of bad debt. A lot of fake RSETH was printed that nobody could redeem against because it was drained basically. So a lot of other companies stepped in and the contagion's already gone. The hole has been filled. The hole caused by RSETH and all that liquidity, it's already gone. So nothing ever happens. Of course, a lot of people lost a lot of money though. But everybody was panicking, telling you to withdraw from DeFi. DeFi is dead. I find it funny that the price of Ethereum after this huge hack only dipped like 1%, 2%. Price basically didn't even move on what would be terrible news in a bear market. Yet everyone's calling for lower. Something doesn't seem right about that to me. That's just what I think. Something does not feel right about a huge giant hack and the price of ETH not moving at all. And of course, this whole time, what is the ETH Foundation doing? Oh, they're dumping 10,000 ETH. But at least they dumped it OTC to Bitmine. That's all they do. I'd like to see a bit more marketing from the ETH Foundation. But I guess Tom Lee's got to do it. What is Tom Lee doing for marketing? Well, he gave $200 million to Mr. Beast. What did Mr. Beast do? He bought an app, a fintech app called Step. It's called something with an S. He also filed for a patent that allowed him to basically have, it was very vague. It was cryptocurrency exchange services was mentioned in the patent. And they got a $200 million investment from the world's biggest buyer of ETH. So what could Mr. Beast be doing? Maybe unlocking Ethereum purchases for Gen Z and the millions of people that watch him. More people watch Mr. Beast than the entire continent. He has more subscribers, isn't it, than the entire country, the continent of North America. Which is pretty insane, right? People watch him around the world. It's a big deal. Luna says, smart minds will always find a way to hack. PC has had its issue. Yeah, we've had our own hacks, right? Better Bank, PDI. We've had a lot of people hacking PulseChain protocols too. Neil says, I do feel safe even with all this hacking going on. Yeah, look, all you got to do is not be in experimental DeFi protocols, especially ones that have admin keys. Liquidity providing on PulseX.com is still as safe as it gets. It's Uniswap v2, right? It's a fork of some code that's been audited and running fine for years. It's probably the safest DeFi protocol out there, Uniswap v2. Even v3 is pretty safe. And it's like the most used every single day. Does the most volume. So if you would go provide liquidity, yeah, you can earn some APY for the price of impermanent loss. You can earn like, I've seen as high as 30 to 40% APY lately. Just on the trading fees. Make sure you click V2. When you go to PulseX.com and you add liquidity, make sure to go to V2, not V1. Because the INC rewards on V1 are basically non-existent now. HEX staking, very low yield, but hey, you lock it for a year, you get 1% APY. You lock it for 2 years, you get about 1.5% APY. I think 5 years will get you like 3%, something along those lines. It's low, but it's safe. It's very safe because there's no admin key, and even if the origin address went away forever, HEX would function fine for its entire existence. PulseChain, you could do a validator. You can go to validatorstore.com. Shout out to David Feeder. You can watch his tutorials, just get a dedicated laptop. Make sure you're in a place where your power won't go out, or have a backup battery in case your power does surge. You could set the computer to automatic restart. But if you don't want to do all that, meaning getting about $500 of hardware plus a little bit of technical skills and watching a few hours of tutorials on David Feeder's validatorstore.com. If you don't want to do that, you can use vouch.run, which is just clicks. You just go there, deposit your pulse in there, earn 10% APY for doing that. By the way, if you run your own validator, you're helping decentralize the network more, and you're still earning that 10% APY. Maybe it might be like 9.5%, but you're still earning that. So vouch.run is an easier option with a little more smart contract risk, even though it's been running fine for over a year now. It's been safe and audited, forked off of some other audited protocol. But you're always taking extra risk, so never put all your pulse in anything, or all your coins in any one protocol. Yeah, look, people just need to realize that, oops, minimize my screen. Everyone just focuses on the coins that went up a lot. And it's like, okay, for every one peanut meme coin, you got 37 million tokens now. You know what I mean? 37 million coins. What pumped? It was a series of maybe a handful of pump and dumps. The people on pump.fund, 0.1% of those people actually made money. And 0.01 actually made more than, what, $1,000? These were the guys bundling transactions, getting in early, insider cabals, right? Find me a coin that, like a solid altcoin that people were holding long term, that's not down 60%. Even Ethereum itself is down from its all-time high, 60%. So we didn't have a cycle. Like, we didn't have an altcoin season. Like I said, we had crime season. And what people do is they buy high. So you could play these what if games. Oh, I should have bought this coin that went up. But you still, like, I still probably wouldn't have played it right. Yeah, I should have bought Peanut. But then would I have sold it, or would I have round tripped it? Because all these meme coins that went up 100x or 1000x sometimes, like, very rare. But people have this survivorship bias. So it does nothing to say, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. It's really just not a productive way to think. Because even like when things were pumping, for example, in 2024, PulseChain was up like 4 or 5x higher than it was. It was probably up like 10x higher than it is today. Remember when it hit 4 zeros and a 7, right? In 2024, PulseChain hit 0.0007. And I bought a lot more at that time because I thought it was going to break out. It's terrible. I'm down 90% from that buy. And that's because we didn't have a blow off top alt season. We had fractured liquidity. We had fractured everything. 38 million tokens. You got to understand this. Yet we always just look at the one that went up and just lament. It's really just not good. It's pretty useless to think about. Because again, what I probably would have done if I was paying attention to meme coins the whole cycle is won on a couple, lost on a few, gotten tempted, revenge trading, emotions get in the way. If you're not glued to your screen 24/7 or in the insider cabal, you're probably going to be buying high and selling low. People act like they wouldn't have bought high and sold low in something else. When, like, it's just human nature. but on a long enough time scale, it will work. That's why this cycle, Ben Cohen thinks it's a 4-year cycle. I don't think so. I think it's much longer and much different. The reason seems pretty obvious. Crypto's never been a macro asset. So you've got this one guy, Ben Cohen, who's been wrong a whole bunch of times. He loves being bearish, and he's addicted to the 4-year cycle thinking, like a lot of other people are. I guess I realize that it's tempting to try to latch on to something that worked out 3 times. But something will always work until it doesn't. So we've got 3 data points. The 4-year cycle for Bitcoin happened 3 years in a row. Then for the first time ever in 2023, 24, Bitcoin topped before the halvening. And a lot of the buying was not due to retail. Almost none of it, actually. It was all due to BlackRock, to Grayscale. People were buying, institutions were buying the price up, and then Bitcoin became this castrated, like, institutional sellout. Michael Saylor drove a lot of the buying. And that basically was advertised to normies, and they saw it going up like a tech stock. Bitcoin went up, what, 6x? So did Nvidia. Oh yeah, we should have been buying stocks the whole time. Great. Like, what is that going to do for your mentality to play should have, would have, could have? You know. But then again, stocks, I know what's possible in crypto. It can go up hundreds of X's. Actual hundreds of X's. Sounds insane, but it is possible. So I'm going to be here to take that shot. And look, like I said earlier, like all this should have, would have, could have about stocks, the stocks are coming on chain. So you're going to be able to trade stocks on chain. NASDAQ is partnering with Kraken. You can offer stock trading on chain. Hey, Jim Hansen, thanks for the like. Crypto Spirit says Ben Copen. Colin says, yeah, I feel bad for everyone, including and myself, for PulseChain being down 90%. Richard Hart and we're Richard Hart and true decentralization believers. It's okay. Personally going to have my just in case bag. Exactly. 10 Kid says, money printer will go burr. Rumor no capital gains tax next year. I highly doubt it, but I'd love to see it. Money printer will go burr. I agree with you there. We got Lights Out in the chat. Lights Out says, well, first of all, welcome. Good sir. He's been here forever too. Trump official scam coin sucked all the liquidity out of the market. Orange man bad. That's the thing, man. Like we were supposed to get golden age, no war. You know, we still have a better regulatory than we probably would have. But either way, it's like you're picking between a giant douche and a turd sandwich. It's like South Park. Every time. Like something happens. People get into office and all that talk, it's like they just do. It's not the most powerful position. It's everybody lobbying. It's everybody handling them. Certain countries, people funding them. So you could say no war all you want, and then you just go to war. And then of course they grifted. Trump just grifted with his meme coin. And if you didn't get in on the first day of that, you lost money on it, just like so many other ones. World Liberty Finance, now they're getting sued by Justin Sun. But, you know, I actually made money on World Liberty Finance. I made like a 5x on it. And I've still got 80% of my coins locked up. So they only enabled 20% for dumping, but hey, still made money on it, even though it's highly centralized, fake DeFi, admin key. I just figured, hey, it's got Trump's name on it. So something's going to happen, just like the Trump NFTs, right? People forget that he grifted on the NFTs too. I guess we can't be that surprised. That one wasn't even, that was hiding in plain sight. Like, oh, you can just read the code and find that World Liberty has admin functions. And the fact that Trump coin only brought in 1% new buyers net. And yet the insiders profited hundreds of millions from it. That's how they all go. The Trump family was just one of the many crime families. Pulse Ray Vision, welcome. Hey kids, something has got to give. Bitcoin will finish his pump and then Ethereum will rip because of all the evil people filling their bags right now. A lot of manipulation in markets right now. I think you're right. I think the evil powers that be have co-opted crypto. But PulseChain's a way to, in theory, you could use that to your advantage if you believe. And if you don't believe, that's okay. No one's forcing you to be here, you know. But if there was a benevolent whale in the ecosystem that could spur off a FOMO buying spree into strength, and I do really want to heavily stress into strength, because look, the origin address bought $2 million of PulseX back in November. And this is to anybody begging people to buy their bags, right? People beg Michael Saylor, they beg Tom Lee, they beg Richard Hart, they beg every company. But that $2 million of PulseX buy pressure got sold down immediately one day after. We had a 100% candle in a day. And then the very next day, price was right back where it started. What does that tell us? That buybacks don't work when the market's not ready. I'm not saying they don't work at all. They do work. But they do work when the market is in strength. And it's right now, it's clearly not. That was evidence number one. I could go on and on. Sonic, multi-million-dollar buyback program. They're down worse than PulseChain. Jupiter did over $1 trillion of volume. Jupiter token, one of the most popular dexes on Solana. $200 million of buybacks, which imagine what that would do to PulseChain. And they did $200 million of buybacks, and their coin is still down 90% today. Solana itself is down 80%. It's one of the most popular chains out there. Everyone just has survivorship bias. Like, oh, I should have bought the one that went up. I should have bought it at the low and sold it at the perfect high. I mean, maybe I used to think like that too back in the day. Again, the only thing I've realized that works is just long-term holding, staying in the game, trying to make something happen, trying to get a loyal following. Which is what we've got. We've got in PulseChain. It's decentralized too. It's not just me. You've got Sami. You've got all these YouTubers. Richard Hart, I believe, will come back. You've got Liberty Swap, RH Max, Crypto 7. All these random guys. Just decentralized network. The tablets. We got like over 1 million tablets yet to be given out. Yet to be given out. From the charity. RS Griffin. That's RG3 and SJ. Shout out to those two. And every volunteer that comes. A lot of really good people here. A lot of really good people. Pulse Ray says, thank God we're Siamese twins with Ethereum. These Nuts says, the solution is to wrap all Pulse, PHEX, PLSX into a single S&P 500 bundle coin and make it available to buy on ETH. Bro, that's not a bad idea at all. These Nuts, 420. Honestly, not a bad idea at all. Yeah, put ProveX in there while you're at it too. Just buy, it's like core coin exposure. I bet you could make that popular over on ETH. Wrapping all the core coins together, bridging them to Ethereum, maybe give it a cool logo or something. And it's basically the PulseChain index. But traded on Ethereum. I think that's the important part. Is open it up to the liquidity on Ethereum land, which it does so much more volume and has so much more liquidity. I like that idea. Neil says, still got to start with Ethereum to get that $6,000 or $7,000, and away we go. I agree, Neil. I feel it. Like, I feel something has turned. I know it's a little too early to tell, but the Clarity Acts are around the corner. ETH is, what, $2,300 today? I think it's off the floor. I feel it's more likely that we go up than down in the near future. In 2026, you've got Goldman Sachs predicting all-time high bullish for Bitcoin. New Bitcoin all-time highs in 26. That's Goldman Sachs. Citibank is offering a new program for Bitcoin and Ethereum trading for their 37 million clients. Schwab doing the same. These are big institutions. BlackRock just keeps buying for their ETFs, putting their BIDL fund, their real-world asset fund on chain. They've got billions on chain for real-world assets. It feels like the powers that be. And then you've got stocks and gold at all-time highs. So what's up with that? Why is crypto still so wrecked? I think it's the regulation. Like, imagine if Microsoft and Apple computers didn't allow you to buy any because the regulations were too tight. And then all of a sudden one day, every normie person could just go ahead and buy a Mac or an Apple computer. Like, the internet and computer industry would explode overnight. And I think that's what we're doing in crypto, because the internet didn't have the same political resistance that crypto's had. The last regime tried to kill crypto with Operation Chokepoint 2.0. They were subpoenaing people like myself, asking for evidence that didn't exist. assuming guilty till proven innocent. Total garbage. It's happened to like 40 or 50 people in PulseChain. Then on top of that, just every exchange was getting sued, companies. So nobody felt safe to do business in the USA until now. We've got the Genius Act, and then finally the Clarity Act is going to tell banks that they can basically hold and sell crypto to their customers. And I think the banks know this, which is why they're already gearing up. They're already offering these services. Even JP Morgan decided to do a complete 180. 2 years ago, you can watch this. He was talking so much shit about Bitcoin crypto, calling crypto all a scam, Ponzi. And he was buying the whole time. And what did he just do? He launched JPMD, JP Morgan dollar stablecoin on the Ethereum network. So you just do the opposite of whatever these snakes say. Because their advantage, JP Morgan has a stablecoin on Ethereum. All right. Jamie Dimon is saying that crypto is a better financial system. That was his latest statement. And yet the prices are still 60% off. So this gap has to close. It doesn't have to, but it would be very weird to me if it didn't close. Is buying 1 billion PulseX still possible? Yeah, bro. It's actually not that hard. 1 billion PulseX today is only $6,000. So very doable. And it's more doable now than ever, sir. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, let it go. That's the thing. People love that. You know, people love what if Sam Bankman-Fried didn't go to jail? He would be so rich because of his investment in Anthropic. It's like, so? You're wasting your life even caring about this. Oh my God. Some rich scammer would have been so much more rich if he didn't scam everybody and go to jail. Okay. You know what I mean? Pump before midterms, that does seem kind of likely too. There's often a pump before midterms to try to make the economy look good. But you've got a lot of incumbents you've basically got a lot of these lifers in Congress that they don't like Trump. They haven't been interested in making him look good at all. Maybe why would they focus on making him look good now? Like midterms are coming up and all of a sudden World Liberty Finance is under extreme pressure. Like Justin Sun's calling out what he could have called out months ago. I honestly think Justin Sun's just mad that he's mad that he paid so much money for Trump coin to go to dinners with the Trump exclusive dinners and then couldn't get any political pull either way. That's probably what's happening. Like he thought he was going to buy his way in to gain favor with Trump. Basically a bribe. And maybe he didn't get what he wanted, so now he's crying about it and suing the World Liberty team. Hey, rich billionaire sues other rich billionaire. Chaotic Creations, FX Studio. Hey, what's up, Johnny? ETH has been in an uptrend since April 4th, but everyone has been too depressed to believe it. Interesting take, Johnny. Technically, you're right. It has been in an uptrend since April 4th. Now, that's only been 3 weeks, which is why everybody's nobody wants to call for it yet. But hey, I'd like to believe it for all the reasons I've laid out. And I'll lay them out again. I'll keep laying them out because I'm doing it for myself just as much as all you guys. AI agents converging with crypto. Mark Andreessen said that. This is the Mark Andreessen that owns A16Z, Andreessen Horowitz. He's the VC mogul of Silicon Valley. He's telling us that ETH is going to be demanded by AI agents, even more so than potentially humans. Also, CZ said that. Brian Armstrong said that, the CEO of Binance and Coinbase. Yes, I'm doing appeals to authority so that people actually listen, but it makes sense, right? Like, agents are given wallets, and it just makes sense to give those wallets ETH to pay for transaction fees because Ethereum powers the transaction rails in which the powers that be are also launching record numbers of stablecoins on. $300 billion of stablecoins exist today. Half of those are on Ethereum. And another large percentage of those, probably 30% more of those, are on EVM-compatible networks. Then real-world assets, $100 trillion worth of stocks, $109 trillion. Well, 25 billion's on-chain today. That's like 0.025% Oh, 0.25% if my mental math is right. Real world assets, stablecoins, AI, institutional buying, Tom Lee, Mr. Beast. It's like everybody knows, and retail's still too scared to buy. Retail loves buying high. That's why they're chasing things that already went up, like AI stocks and Nvidia. But hey, storage is probably going to go up. SanDisk went up a lot. Like I said, CPUs, AMD, Intel might go up a lot. If you got a thought on Ripple, I do. I tweeted about Ripple, actually. I met a guy that was very happy about his Ripple investment, but it turns out he bought the Ripple Labs stock. Now, the Ripple Labs stock went up 5x from $20 to now $119 today. But you weren't invited to get the Ripple Labs stock. I wasn't invited because it's a private investment. So you probably need to be an accredited investor and know somebody to get a share of the equity. Meanwhile, Ripple Labs, the company, dumps XRP every single month as an order of business to pay for everything else. And Brad Garlinghouse said this. Brad Garlinghouse has stated that Ripple wouldn't be profitable. And go look this up. Wouldn't be profitable if it wasn't for dumping XRP. Now, yes, I understand they're basically like a fintech company. They offer an interbank trading solution. So it's software that kind of rivals the SWIFT system. And it works. It's good software. But if all they were doing was making money from that software alone and their banking partners, they wouldn't be profitable. They're profitable from dumping Ripple. They sell Ripple to institutions like Citadel, like SBI Holdings in Singapore. And these guys dump it, and retail absorbs all this sell pressure so SBI, Citadel, whatever, they'll go to a Binance or they'll go to Kraken or some exchange, and they will just offload on all the normies who love buying XRP for some reason. Now, yeah, XRP held up great. Believe it or not, XRP did, if you held it since 2013, you would have made maybe a 300x if you held it since 2013. But in the more recent years, since the last bear market, right? Since 2021, it's only gone up like 3x, maybe. And that's because they won their lawsuit. So good for them. I just can't personally, like at my spiritual level, I can't get excited about buying into some TradFi normie coin. Ripple doesn't have to go up a whole lot. Like Ripple lately did a 3x, that's great. But it doesn't have that explosive growth potential, in my opinion, that coins like PulseChain, PulseX, these coins have that explosive growth potential, meaning they can go up a lot in a short time window. Whereas I think those days for Ripple are long gone. So if you're buying it, yeah, you actually did preserve your wealth. So more power to you if you had Ripple and you held it from 40 cents to $1.40. It was at 40 cents. Let's look at the Ripple chart. But Ripple's dumped 900 million XRP since the beginning of 2026, guys. That's $1 billion of sell pressure only this year, in the last 4 months. And Ripple does this to fund a building full of people that do this Swift competitor. And yeah, I know they offer stablecoin services. They offer tokenization, RWA services. They offer custody services. So Ripple offers like 5 or 6 different institutional services, but it's very much not like a retail friendly company. And all their products are for banks. So I think it appeals to boomers and people that are like maybe a bit more TradFi, traditional finance leaning. It's very much not crypto. And they've been kind of working out what their actual value prop was for a long time now. But, Brad Garlinghouse, what did he do? He just stayed in the game, pivoted a couple times, adapted to market conditions. And 13 years later, him and the early buyers, meaning the people that bought in 2014, 2015, those people are the real winners on Ripple. Those people got really, really rich because they bought it at 3 cents and now it's $1.40. But if you bought it at the high of the last cycle, you bought it at $1.80, well, now it's $1.40. You're still down. Or let's say you bought in the last prolonged dip in the bear market for Ripple. Maybe you bought it at 56 cents. Now it's $1.40. So, okay, you made it 3x. The lawsuit win was good. I'm always happy that people win their lawsuits, and well, not always if they're bad guys. But I don't think Ripple's an evil company. I just really don't like their business model. It doesn't feel good to me, a retail person, and it just feels like corporate coin, corpo slop. But hey, if that's more of the narrative that you buy into, then go ahead. I guess that's my thoughts on Ripple. Tekken Kid says, disbelief rally time. Yes, sir. Please give me that disbelief rally. I want to be in the disbelief phase so bad. Extra Crypto says, sell the news into Q3, then pamp Q4 26 into the end of Q1 27. Interesting take. Could be a very brutal year for crypto going into the next BTC halving. Yeah, I don't think that the Bitcoin halving has much. I don't think normal people care about it at all. And really, it's just been, up until now, the Bitcoin halving has just been a nice excuse to overlay. When you overlay it onto the M2 money supply, it was always global liquidity that was pumping crypto. Bitcoin halving just happened to be there. Now, this isn't something. This is like a news headline, but it's one of those cases where the price follows the news, or the news follows the price, rather. Like, this is not, I don't think the halving is a price driving news event. It's a convenient thing to overlay in hindsight, when in reality it was M2 money supply the whole time. Now you might think, oh, well, we've decoupled from M2 money supply, so what's happening here? Well, again, Bitcoin's a macro asset now, and M2 money supply only tracks public liquidity in the banking sector. Now, there's a lot of private credit that's not in the banks, that's giving money and stimulating businesses and other companies that want to take out loans from private credit. So we still have a lot of liquidity, basically dry powder, to pump the markets in 2026, which I think we agree on that. The pump in 26 could easily be from private credit, and that's why you're seeing the decoupling of M2 money supply. But for the last 3 cycles, guys, and kind of hard to argue with this. You look at the M2 money supply, you look at the Bitcoin chart, and they perfectly overlay. Maybe there's a little bit of a phase shift, but it's like the astronaut meme always has been. Bitcoin's connected to global liquidity and not the halving, always has been. What else do we have? We've got the Bitcoin dominance chart looking like it's about to fall off a cliff. Bitcoin dominance chart is at 60% today. And if you were to look at this chart, if this chart was in any other, if you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, and if this was an altcoin, everybody would be maximum short. It would be very obvious that this is going lower, because we had Bitcoin dominance at 98%. Then in the 2017 cycle, it crashed to 35%, meaning altcoins went up. Then, in the bear market in 2019, Bitcoin dominance rose to 72%. Then in the next bear market of 2021, Bitcoin dominance crashed to 40%. Now Bitcoin dominance has climbed all the way back to a local recent top of 65%. We're sitting at 60% today. So what we did, basic chart analysis, is you made a lower high, rather. You made lower highs. This is the 3rd time now. And again, if this chart, if I didn't show the name of this chart, this would look like a very bearish chart. And this is the Bitcoin dominance chart, meaning a bearish Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance goes down, altcoins go up. It's been hard though, because altcoins, like I said, altcoins is now referring to 37 million tokens. Where everybody can create one on pump.fun or pump.tires. Anybody can go create a coin now. Most people already have. So you got saturation, but on the other end, you've got diehard community not giving up. And what I believe crypto is going to start to look like is these one-off pumps. Kind of like we had a Zcash pump, right? Zcash went up 10x. Then it retraced the whole thing. Now it's right back down to square one. Yes, but that was another insider pump and dump, more of a corporate one. There was a lot of exchange-driven insiders, right? Remember all the propaganda for Zcash, which is, by the way, the fake privacy coin where no one actually uses the privacy. If you want privacy, use Monero. Don't use Zcash. If you actually care about privacy. That's why on the dark web they use Monero. They don't use Zcash. It was also created by some guy who lives right next to the CIA. And the privacy feature on Zcash is optional. So I thought that whole pump and dump was a psyop. But hey, again, shout out to people that made money on it. Congrats if you had some of that insider info. I had a friend that had some insider info on Zcash and he made money on it. Like you can if you have some. But I wasn't close enough to all those exchange talks to realize that they were going to pump it. But, you know, you've got random coins that are, what I'm saying is you've got these random tokens that are going to sporadically pump. But in my opinion, alt season as a term doesn't mean anything anymore when you have 38 million tokens. There's simply not enough liquidity. It was when there was 10,000 coins. Yeah, 8,000 of them could pump at the same time. 10,000 is a lot different than 30 million. A lot different. And the ability, the ease of which everyone can create one means the game has changed. The game is always, we've got to adapt. So now I do think PulseChain can decouple. You've got a billionaire known to pump his own coins, that's known to have about $500 million of Ethereum right now through Tornado Cash and anonymized wallets, plus however much ETH he holds, plus however much Bitcoin he holds from, well, Bitcoin from the early mining days. He might have another $500 million of Bitcoin. And let's say he's got another couple $100 million from the HEX adoption amplifier. Could very easily happen where we get some kind of blow off top in the PulseChain core coins. That's why I'm still here. That's not the only reason. I also believe in all the individuals still working here too. I mean, Richard Hart's obviously been working. He literally just built provex.com, a peer-to-peer tokenized on-ramp. Peer-to-peer crypto exchange, buy crypto with no middlemen. You can use Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, whatever, to buy and sell, kind of like eBay, but for crypto. You can bypass the exchange altogether, no KYC, no showing your ID, just a handshake between you and the seller. And you can buy their stablecoins, you can sell them your dollars on PayPal, and then the transaction is done. And that works today, provex.com. It's got a buy and burn token associated with it, the PRVX token. So Richard's been up to stuff behind the scenes. Who knows what else he's doing? It seems like he might have also been responsible. I don't know, right? But some very old HEX OG who ran the pumpamentals.com referral link, he also dusted almost 10 million people. Let's go see right now. 10 million new EHEX holders. Why is this important? It's not because people are going to like sell this or anything. It's because when people check their wallets, they see a shiny little pink and yellow logo, and it's not even worth it to sell. It's worth $0.0001. But it's been basically spammed into everybody's wallet. So the Spam King strikes again. And it's just really cool because I've never seen a dusting campaign that's this big. Just waiting for the page to load. Yeah, 9 million holders, guys. 9 million. So crazy. So all the top addresses, this includes exchange addresses, rich guys, famous people. They've all got one little hex on Ethereum sitting in their wallet. It's just more eyeballs. You got the Zero Trust team. They made a payment processor. You can now accept PLS as payment for goods and services. We've already seen an OnlyFans model using it to accept PLS. Only in crypto, right, guys? Will I use Tip Us on stream now? Desktop. Maybe I'll use it next time. Zen to the Moon says, win the highest of stakes too. Huh. I hope the sequel is better than the original. It all has to do with the price, you know, the highest of stakes. If the price was higher, it would look like an artistic, beautiful 3D chess, 4D chess saga. PLSX.fun says, take our site for a spin. Let us know what you think. I know PLSX.fun. It's a pretty good site. Pretty good site for the day traders, the degens on PulseChain. Luna says they cherry pick the winners and outlaw the rest. Who cherry picks the winners? I don't talk about how much crypto I own, and I recommend people don't talk about how much crypto they own. Nobody needs to know how much money's in your bank account, right? So no offense, Methan Ramar, but that's just a policy I have. And I think everybody should have that policy. Tex Hex says, hey CC, thank you for all you do for the community. I really appreciate you continuing your efforts. Thank you, Tex Hex. I appreciate you being here, sir. How does real world assets help us in Pulse? Well, we've got a real world asset token, by the way. It's called CVRE, fractionalized ownership of real estate. But what real world assets helps with is on-chain demand for Ethereum. And if you buy into basically the idea that PulseChain is dependent on Ethereum breaking new all-time highs because the founder literally tweeted zero hero. He tweeted, that he basically is more or less not going to sell his ETH until new all-time highs. Real world assets is a very bullish thing for Ethereum because of, again, the demand for the underlying transaction coin. You can't trade stock coin A from person A to person B without having some ETH in your wallet. It's all about the trading fees and the substrate. ETH is like the digital oil. Pulse is the digital oil of PulseChain, but ETH is the digital oil of Ethereum. Mithun Ramar says, what do you think the future roadmap of PulseChain will be? There's no official roadmap, but I think it's going to trend in the way of open source, decentralized software. I think privacy is a big thing. You can look at what LibertySwap is building. So they've got some kind of like Aave fork for lending, borrowing and lending, a privacy railgun bridge. They've got a privacy wallet coming out. You can take a look at what Internet Money is doing. These individual guys, Pateus.io, the DEX aggregator, they launched a huge roadmap for all their AI improvements, AI enhanced order routing, MEV protection. It's going to continue to be one of the best, probably the best DEX aggregator in all of PulseChain, Pateus. So people are doing big things. You've got, Switch.win. Shout out to Brandon from the Rags to Riches team. I'm sure there's tons of people I'm missing, but you got to go to these individual projects to look at their roadmaps. You're probably never going to get a roadmap from Richard Hart or those developers because a roadmap is kind of anti-competition. If you tell everybody what you're about to do, you're going to have a bunch of competition. That's why nobody really knew about Pump.tires, right? Or nobody really knew about LibertySwap before it happened. But it seems that Richard, or, some of the developers, it seems like that's what they were working on behind the scenes. Yeah. So if you go back in the very old days, I think Richard posted like a quick screenshot of a bullet point list of things that he wanted to see in the future. I think native stablecoin was on there. That might have changed, right? But there's all these things people are interested in building. But we can't be overly reliant. One reason you can't be overly reliant on roadmaps too is because when you give a certain date for something, it's just a list of future disappointments. That's all a roadmap becomes, is like, oh, you were supposed to do this by this time, and now the crowd is just angry. And then when you do the thing you said you were going to do, if you delayed it on the roadmap, they're just going to be like entitled, like, oh, you should have done this a long time ago. And then you can have it already priced in. So I don't think, it's more important to believe that the people that are building are smart and less important to give a specific roadmap with timelines. And you can just do that by looking around, and basically it's a meritocracy. It's easier to believe in these things when you look and see what people have already built, and you look at their track record of like, okay, PulseX is getting updates all the time. The HEX front end just got a Wallet Connect update. Pump.tires launched. LibertySwap launches updates like every other week. But the over-reliance on roadmaps is not a good way, historically, in my experience. It's not a good way to do crypto. Because what a roadmap is just a list of future disappointments. You want to see, what have these people done? And in general, what are they saying they're going to do? But then not getting obsessed with like when exactly it's going to happen. Because that's just like such a normie. Like a roadmap is way too easy for people to just game, right? Oh, there's going to be a big launch date on May 15th. Okay, so basically everyone just buys before May 15th and then sells on like May 14th. And you just get a big nothing burger. It just creates like a micro pump and dump. Raul Duke says, sup fam, enjoy the weekend. You too, Raul Duke. Up and to the right says, tokens where the founders sell in order to fund development are horrible. Yes, sir. And believe it or not, that's most tokens, including the Ethereum Foundation. The Ethereum Foundation sells ETH all the time. Now, luckily, I really like what the Ethereum Foundation has built. I respect that. They've held true to certain ideals like privacy and decentralization. And they've built a lot of good software, but I haven't seen out of the ETH Foundation like really that good of marketing stuff. Okay, they throw good conferences. I'll give them that. They do good conferences. Hey, SW. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Says, thank you, Coffee, for all the great work you do. It's appreciated and you are a legend. No you, sir. No you. Builders on PulseChain are still working. Yes, they are. XRP is still up where I bought at 50 cents. Yeah, good job, man. Shout out to the gains. Gains are gains, man. XRP is up from 50 cents. It doesn't really have to keep going for Ripple. Thing is, in my opinion, Ripple doesn't have to keep going up for Ripple Labs to be successful. Because their stock is going up and they're dumping Ripple to fund it. But, you know, enough of retail has bought into the narrative that they're going to keep buying the spot price on exchanges and being exit liquidity. I guess retail is fine with being exit liquidity for Ripple. So it is what it is. UniOG reposted the stream. Thank you, UniOG. Dutch says, spam me some more HEX. Multiverse says, let's farting go. We can chill on here, LOL. Pulse Ray, you can chill within reason. Just don't spam. Maybe, you know, just don't be an R word about it. Pulse like LNG, liquid natural gas. Yes, sir. Is that what you mean by LNG? Up and to the right says solo LPX pools are now live for all members of PulseChain. 555 tokens are live. Wow, cool. New ETH and BTC pools open. Single-sided yields. All right, guys, if you want a little secret here, go to lpx.plusx.app. And apparently now you can do solo LPX, which is a dynamic liquidity strategy, which has been working great for Top Hat token, earning like 14-15% APY. And you can protect the price of your coin with dynamic buys and sells, where it injects liquidity as needed and allows the price to actually go up. Because it has a bit of a gap. LPX, guys. Shout out to the builders on LPX. It's been good so far. I guess it's open for anyone with any coin and new pools. So if you're holding wrapped ETH or wrapped Bitcoin, you can now try that out, earn some yield while you're holding your bags. By the way, if you guys want these PulseChain seed word storage cards and you want to support the channel, one of a kind, limited edition, laser engraved, stainless steel, waterproof, fireproof, PulseChain seed word storage cards, Pulse Vault cards. These are limited time only, guys. Get one in the YouTube description tray below. In the YouTube tray of all my videos. They're also going to come with a stencil and an engraving pen right here. So this is the engraving pen, stencil, and Pulse seed. Write your seed words down. Take your power back. Do crypto the right way. This is probably the most important thing you could ever do in crypto. And they also support the channel. And if you were going to super chat anyway, might as well get something cool out of it, right? They also make great onboarding tools, onboarding gifts. And we've got bulk discounts. So if you want to buy in bulk, like 5 of them, if you buy 5, I think you get 35% off. Pretty good deal. I looked at the prices on competitors as well. These are very in line. These are a bit cheaper than any competitors, actually. So, PulseChain engraved. Custom made. From me to you. You can give me a P.O. box if you're worried about your privacy. Yeah, those are in the YouTube description. So thanks for your support, guys. Luna says RH is always changing his worldview. Yes, he is. That's what people don't realize. You know, they'll hang on to something somebody said like years ago. And we do this online with everybody, right? We'll pull up some old tweet that somebody said something, and then they change their mind. We want to like hold these people to impossibly high standards of, hey, everything you ever say is set in stone, and you can never ever say anything different. It's kind of a low IQ behavior to not realize that people change their minds. Updating your worldview, I guess, is a nicer way to say changing your mind. Sunlight says another 9 million viral HEX dust seeds dispersed, awaiting some to take root and grow. Some may fall on fertile soil. That's a good metaphor, man. They're like dandelion seeds, blowing out in the winds to 9 million wallets. Yeah, maybe seeds is a better word than dust. SW, thank you again for the tip, my friend. Rashad says it's 110 people watching. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, right, Rashad. Thank you. Thanks for reminding them. Vitalik is rapping at the conference. Was he? I didn't see the Vitalik rap. Damn, I gotta watch that later. Pulse Ray Vision says, I got my beta site up. Would love for people to go break it so we can battle harden the DRKR token. All right, guys. What's the beta site, Pulse Ray? Put it in the chat. I know Pulse Ray. He's a good guy, not a scammer. He's made a pretty interesting game on PulseChain, so it's powered by a token. If you guys are into it, go check it out. Just a bit of a side quest if you want to explore what people are building. They're building cool stuff. Raul Duke says, Waters Above shouted you out on his last video. Said we might do another guest appearance collab because I'm a solid dude. Thanks, Raul Duke. I always like Waters Above too. He's a free thinker. He doesn't sugarcoat. He doesn't just say nice things about it. I like people that aren't like so culty and blind to any criticism or anything. Like, yes, he's a trader. And the cool thing is you don't have to agree with what Waters Above says either. It's like, you just take what he says with a grain of salt. But it's good to get a different perspective. I mean, he's pretty esoteric. He follows moon cycles and astrology, which some people might kind of roll their eyes, say it's a little woo-woo. But he's been right on some of his macro calls, just as right as anybody else. You know, some people are right sometimes and wrong other times. But, you know, fundamentally, I think I agree with his ethos of critical thinking and free thinking. So, that's nice to hear. Yeah, I like Waters Above. And he's not committed to like I'm committed to PulseChain, right? So I'm gonna say good stuff about PulseChain because I want to defend my bags. I'm not gonna do I'm not gonna do anti-marketing and like trash talk my bags and FUD my bags. So logically, that just doesn't make sense. But sometimes you want to hear from somebody that is a neutral third party. Neutral, not like a disgruntled person that's just mad that they bought high and now their price is down. We've got enough of that already. And that's anti-marketing, in my opinion. People that just cry on the internet all day. It's like, yeah, dude, I know it sucks. Like, it does suck. But publicly complaining, it just crabs in a bucket. It lowers the vibes. It brings other people down with you. Luckily, optimism, like light overpowers dark. It always does, always has. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. Optimism. Yo, Pulse Ray Vision, thank you for the tip, my friend. Love your content. Thank you so much, Pulse Ray. YouTube won't let me send with the link. Oh, well then just spell out and then say dot. Like say the word dot. Or type the word dot, you know what I mean? Holland Ong says, Copy, is it possible for a PulseChain dev to be hosted on your show live stream? Yes, it is. I mean, I could have anybody on. David Feeder. Maybe Brett. I wonder if Brett EP would be able to. Maybe I'll ask him. That'd be really fun, wouldn't it? drkr.vercel.app. There you go, Pulse Ray. drkr.vercel.app. Careful, guys. Vercel got hacked the other day too, but it wasn't application specific. It was like the actual company. Like Waters Above, but he's an XRP fan. Yeah, see, that's the thing is like. I don't like XRP, but he's been following it for a long time. He owns a bag. And at the end of the day, guys, people behave. Like a lot of people's behavior can be seen by what they hold. Like you'll realize even the negative emotion in PulseChain, it's still coming from people that are holding PulseChain. And that negative emotion is equally positive emotion when euphoric times come around. So it's passion, right? Even the hatred, the whining, the bitching and moaning, that all becomes passion on the way up. It really does. I've seen this happen. Like some of the same people that were super emotionally happy in the last cycle are now super emotionally negative right now. But a lot of them are still here, right? What you really want is you just don't want a ghost town. And that's PulseChain's PulseChain's the farthest thing from a ghost town. You know, even the people that are complaining, they complain loudly. It's all just a signal, guys. It's a signal. You want the lights to be on. Am I sure the link for my PulseChain seed card is listed below? Let me double check that. Here. Oh, maybe not. Maybe refresh the page. I've just added it. It'll definitely appear in the replay, but I've just added it. So if you refresh the page, you could see that seed word card appear. Well, lad, YouTube isn't showing your live streams and videos to me anymore. Oh, that sucks. Maybe I just need to be more consistent. The Algo says, appreciate your tutorials, mate. Thank you, the Algo. Charles, do your own research, says, optimism is much more fun and always wins in the end. Yes, sir. Yes, it does. Max likes 73 to 123. Hell yeah. Lights Out says, I think PulseChain can't be a ghost town because there's always someone fighting. More like UFC. Yeah. Hey, more like a trailer park, am I right? I'd rather be in a trailer park than a ghost town. Hans Blinker says, not if you're a Bitcoin holder. Oh my god, Hex Wizard with the $50 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Dude, that is very generous. You are very appreciated, Hex Wizard. He says, thanks for streaming. Have a good weekend. You too, bro. Keep making that really cool AI art that I yoink sometimes. Appreciate it, man. See, look at this. Look at these people. Generous at the bottom. Who's generous like this at the bottom? It's really awesome, guys. Waters' predictions mostly don't come to pass. I think it's because his Gematria calculator associations are intrinsically wrong because Gematria is used in Hebrew, not English. Yeah, look, I mean, everyone that makes predictions is going to be wrong most of the time. There's like an art form to embellishing your correct predictions and downplaying your incorrect predictions, or kind of like vague posting. Like you'll see a lot of this. Like QAnon, or there's a very specific sub community of PulseChain that does a lot of like vague posting, schizo posting, because if they were more specific, their story would unravel and fall apart. But they won't give you specifics on how something's going to happen because, like, look, I'm not talking about Waters here now. I'm kind of thinking about something else, but you know what I mean, guys. You get what I'm saying. You guys can read between the lines. Not your fault, man. They're not happy with crypto people. What is Jag ZG? What do you mean? I know. I mean, look, it is what it is. People complain. Maybe complaining got people something in the past. Maybe it's like an infantile behavior, like whining to mommy gets you mommy's attention. Luckily, I'm a grown-ass man. He said, Eric says he's not cooking, he brewing. Ah. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Eric. Hey guys, make sure you like, share, leave a comment. And by the way, I've got a school community as well. If you want to join my community, ask me questions or buy the course, you can do that in the school.com link in the description below. Or if you just want to get one of these bad boys, seed word storage cards, one of a kind. But I'm gonna get going, boys and girls. Hope everybody enjoys their Saturday very much. JagZG says, what lean is that YouTube won't promote crypto-related channels? Crypto will promote YouTube. YouTube will promote crypto. They're trying to crack down on the scammers and the spammers and like the fake Elon Musk giveaway live streams. I mean, I'm just going to stay consistent, just like on X too. People blame Nikita, but if we stay consistent, the algorithm will level out and hopefully we'll be able to be shown through to a wider audience. Maybe also the content just needs to be more interesting, right? Maybe I need to stream from like a jungle background or stream from the beach or something like that. That alone might get more viewers. You know what I mean? Been thinking about stuff like that lately. Luna says, thank you, sir. Love you. You're welcome, Luna. Love you too. Peace out.